coming off a very, very busy week last week with 3 games on the road. Nice to kind of settle in, let our guys settle in with no games during a very challenging time with finals. It's always a little bit of chaos from the standpoint of scheduling, moving practices around, guys having to leave early, but that's all part of it. But it was nice to be here. I thought we had a really good week on the road. A little disappointing, obviously, the Tennessee loss, but a lot to learn from that. Give Tennessee credit. It's hard to go on the road and be the top 10 team in their building. But I thought we did some positive things. Obviously, now we get Colgate, who's exceptional. They're very, very big. They're an NCAA tournament team. They're extremely well coached. They're different. This will be a Big Ten prep type team in terms of the physicality, the size, 6'11", 6'10", the 5 and the 4. They're one of the top teams in America in post-ups. And all that being said, they've got an elite point guard. Point guard is great mid-range, shoots a ton of floaters. They've got one of the best three-point shooters in America to go alongside him. So this is a very, very good basketball team that will have played very, very well beyond our game.
Is this week between games similar in intensity and practices like it was leading up to Rutgers?
Yes and no. You also have to understand as a coach, there's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of a mental fatigue maybe that goes along with finals. We haven't been out here forever, maybe gone as long. I thought we had very good days on Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday was just kind of an individual day. We touched on some things then. We were off Thursday, and now we're back on game prep and stuff. And we were very solid on that end of things. So just a little different mindset when you're dealing with finals, but it's been good.
A 9-game sample size with Ty primarily at point. What have you seen from him? You talked about maybe a conversation with Chester about being more vocal. How have you seen him step into that role?
Yeah, I think it's a really hard position to play. It's your quarterback. You can't just know what you do. You have to know what everybody else does. You have to know who zigs and who zags, so to speak. And he's done very, very well. He's been exceptional on the defensive side. That's been my biggest concern, to be very honest, is making sure that there was comfort there. He's been really, really good. His size, his length, his athleticism, his strength, getting over ball screens has been very good. He's playing really unselfish. He's making a lot of the right reads, so I've been very, very comfortable with him. And again, that's a tribute to him and how hard he's worked.
The minutes for game games have been kind of up and down. Has that been about matchups, or you want to see more from him?
Oh, it's almost all matchups. It's been matchups. It's been trying to win a game in whatever presents itself. They were the other night against Tennessee. They're in drop coverages, and you can exploit that with Coleman and his pops and the zooms and the dribble handoffs. Probably should have played him a little more, to be honest, in some other areas. But again, just kind of the way the game unfolded. I don't go into it with a mindset of this or that. I just kind of see what the opponent's going to do and how that's going to work. And Dane's a terrific player, and he's going to be very, very valuable as we move on.
Ty said that Chester kind of talked to him a couple days ago about being more of a leader. Just how does he go about that on a team that's got a bunch of 22 to 24-year-olds?
Yeah, the position allows that. It doesn't matter if you're you're a freshman, sophomore, or you're a senior. Everybody's going to lead differently. His job is to know what people do and get them in positions to operate and be successful. That's where he can lead. His is coming more from a vocal standpoint of relaying coaches' messages and relaying execution things, and that's where he's continuing to grow, and he's had a great week at it. So where Chester played the position, he understands the mental side of being vocal and leading from that spot. It's not just the physical, and we feel great about what he's doing physically. Now it's just starting to add that last piece, which is communicating a little better.
Seems like I remember in past years you talked about how much you relish the opportunities for these long practice weeks to kind of mold your team. Like, what is it that you try to accomplish when you have so many days without a game?
Yeah, they're us days. We don't worry about an opponent. We worry about the things that you go back over a 3 or 4 game stretch and you dig deep into your analytics. Okay, this is what we're not doing. This is where we're struggling. This is what we've got to clean up. Screening angles, little things that you may miss. We've spent a ton of time talking and working on becoming a better rebounding team and a more consistent rebounding team. Those are all things that you can really spend a good amount of time on when you have long breaks, and you don't ever want to forget about them, when you get into game prep. But we spent a ton of time today on and this week on things that we needed to clean up, and that's the beauty of these long breaks.
You talk a lot about role identification. When you've got a team with this kind of experience, does that come together quicker, more easily, or?
No, I don't think so. I think some of it happens organically. I think some of it is game to game. I think role identification. I want more consistent play out of our bench. I thought Luke was great the other night at Tennessee. He had 7 rebounds, but he had 6.5. I want to make sure we've got, we're getting just and consistent play. We're Dane, that there's more productivity. It's not just as much based on what the opponent does, but it becomes more about what we do. I've coached a little more early based on opponent matchups and so on and so forth. I'm going to try to get back to, okay, stop us. This is what we're doing. But we've got to become really consistent in that role identification, coming off the bench, being productive. You guys know I value that more than I value who starts. It's great to see Quincy back shooting basketball. It's great to see, Luke and his performance. It's and what he's done shooting it. Consistent play from Coleman. And it's just, we're getting there. We're not there yet. That's why I keep telling you. I love Amani. I love Draven. What those guys can do from a talent standpoint, it's just getting everybody comfortable. And I value our bench so much. It's one of the areas that we're continuing to grow.
I guess you're looking for that consistency. Do you feel like this team maybe knows what's being asked of them? Like they know what that role is supposed to look like?
I think so. I think we're one of the few teams in college basketball that's ranked really high. I don't know our numbers. I don't know offensively and defensively. I think our efficiency's pretty good on both ends. But there's a reason we got to defend and rebound. And the first half at Tennessee was great. We shot 34% and we led. But we were great on the glass. We get out rebounded the second half, we lose. And this team understanding what winning is and what leads to winning will help them understand their own roles individually. And we got to look at it from the team side first, and then the individual stuff will fall into place in terms of role identification. But if we defend and rebound, I like what this team's abilities are to win a basketball game, and that's always been the focus, and our guys are starting to understand that.
That offensive efficiency seems like it's improved, and we talked about it before, but how do you get to that point really without a traditional backcourt or traditional type of point guard?
Yeah, that's for you guys to worry about. I don't. It's matchups. It's a mismatch. We've had a lot of success with, I go back into the Rutgers and the Florida Atlantic games, and just in size and posting different guys. Getting Marcus downhill, getting Terrence downhill, getting Ty downhill. We got Quincy in post-ups. It's a non-conventional way by the traditional power forward center standards, point guard, where we label everybody. But you can become really efficient when you don't turn the ball over. You get the ball close to the rim, and you have an opportunity to score. And the closer you are to the basket, the better chance you have to score. I'd like to see our free throw attempts go up. I'd like to see our offensive rebounding improve. But those are all creating matchups based on our size and our ability to take advantage of some of those matchups.
Saw the social media video with Terrence's day in the life deal there. How unique is what he does in his approach?
I don't think it's unique to greatness. I think it's unique to people understanding how hard it is to be great. There's a reason he's number 2 in Ken Palm and National Player of the Year stuff, or he was, or I don't know what he is now, but he was. There's a reason that happens. You don't do that by accident. Yes, great genetics, he's gifted, but now you start putting the hard work in. There's no shortcuts to success. Terrence has bought into that completely. And, how many college kids get up at 4:40 every morning to come in and work out? Not many. And so there's a different level of approach to him and desire and wanting to be great. And man, I've got so much respect for that. He's a sponge. He listens. He always wants to learn. He wants to be coached. He wants to be pushed. He wants things demanded of him. And now he's confident. And the good things happen to those who work hard. There's a reason he's in the place he's in.
This feels like one of those leadership and maturity games. You come off a finals week, it's a little distracting, and then also you face a team that's not a marquee matchup, which you've been facing recently. How do you feel about your team's ability to handle that and show up for it?
Well, it is a marquee matchup on our side.
Sure.
There's a reason we put this team in here. They're really, really good. Strength of schedule. As we continue to build our resume heading into league play and for league play. They're really a good basketball team. I can show you they've gone on the road. You go on the road to Vermont and win. Arizona was just a dogfight for a long period of time. There should be no slippage from our standpoint. There should be full-on attention paid. This is part of a December that is as challenging as any we've had, and we know this team's going to do that. They're unique from their size standpoint, and it's just another challenge to help us prepare, and that's the way we've got to look at it. And we put this game in for it's not a 300+ Ken Palm strength of schedule game. This is one where you better bring your best or you're in trouble.
Would you suggest Nico is still on schedule the way you and Fletch envision this going?
Yeah, he had another appointment today. I've not heard the results of where all that looked at in terms of all the scans and everything that they were going to do. He is. I think he's been in a boot. He's been in. He's been in a pool. He's done all of his treatments and recovery, and I think he's on a very good track. Obviously, the scans will tell us a clearer picture of what that looks like, but he says it's feeling better, and that's probably the most important thing, is that his physical and mental is in a place where he feels really good.
Does it sound like he'll be available on Sunday, or is that still to be determined?
He will not be. He will not be.
It's at least been some time, if ever, there's been this men's and women's doubleheader set up. How do you like that?
Well, it's unbelievable for our fans, it's unique. This was it's a great opportunity, I think, without students, for everybody to come and support Shauna and that group. I have so much appreciation for what she's built and what she's building, and you know, I get the pleasure of going over to watch her practice a couple times a week, and vice versa. And we've got a tremendous relationship, and it's great for our fans to be able to experience something like that. It doesn't happen all the time, and you know, kudos and a big thanks to all the staff that has to turn a building pretty quick from one group to the next. I think all of our tickets for our game allow them to stay for the women's game, so I hope everybody takes the opportunity to do that. It should be an exciting day of college basketball, and you know, two great opponents playing our teams, and so I'm excited that to be a part of that, and we get to do that.
Prior to the appointment today, was there a timeline you were hoping for with Nico?
No. I think, Derek, I've learned not to put a timeline on everybody's cases are a little bit different. Everybody's individuals a little bit different, how their body heals, how they react to certain stress points and so on. So we'll get him when we get him, and the most important thing is that I know how hard he's working and how quickly he wants to be back. So you know, we'll just see what the procedures tell us and the scans tell us, and we'll go from there.
Kind of talked about wanting to be a little more himself, a little more aggressive out there. How do you guys help get him there and get him to that level that works?
Yeah, that's a fine line. You know, we want him to be aggressive because he's an explosive athlete, and he can play way above the rim. He's fast, he's strong, and you've got to find that comfort. Aggressive doesn't mean fast. More often than not, it means slow, and that comes with just comfort and confidence. And it's great that he's feeling that way, because we've been trying to inch him into that. To not be passive. A lot of times when you're not confident, you're passive, and he's not that. So we're in a really good place, and we've got to be kind of hands-on how we monitor that, but it's a great mindset for him to have. Thanks, guys.